Hey guys, Shadylikeatree here, and I don't know if I'm going to use this for a video directly as this audio sounds, because I don't know what it's going to sound like, but I just got done watching the movie Her, and the movie is fantastic. I really liked it, and this is kind of one of the few movies where I felt a wide range of emotion, and it kind of, the whole movie got me thinking about my life, my relationships, lack thereof to some degree, and kind of as the movie was going along, I was kind of comparing the women and characters in this movie to the women and characters in my life, and it's what's interesting, or what's difficult, or what's, I don't know what to call it really, about this movie is it's really painful. Not to give anything away, but just the heartbreaking nature of relationships, whether that be online, over the internet, or in person, or any of that nature. It's kind of odd, the cycles that we all shared that are very similar from one relationship to the next. And that was something that really got to me. As I'm sure many of you know, and many of you don't, I've been single for quite a long time. I've had a few dates, short-term relationships, but I wouldn't consider myself to have a girlfriend or a long-term relationship for many years. And that really hurts, when you see a movie like this, and you see the characters in said movie, and you kind of see their happiness and their joy, and you're happy for them, and you're happy for these characters in this movie, and you kind of realize that you don't have that, or I realized I don't have that. It sucks, and then it sucks a lot more when the characters break up, and when relationships end as a whole, I suppose. Because being perfectly honest, that's kind of what I thought about was all the not necessarily bad breakups, but just breakups in general. In that I've never had a relationship where it was like I was satisfied with how it ended. It ended for one reason or another, but I never really liked that reason. I never really liked that the relationship ended. So I'll give a few for instances. Like the first girl that I ever fell in love with, I was 16 at the time, and she was a little older than me. She was a year ahead of me in school, and she's actually 2 months younger than me, but a year ahead of me at school because of how my birthday fell. And we went on one date, and it was a shitty date, and she was not in a place to date, but I don't know what her deal was back then. But we never really dated, and she went off to college, and I kind of did my own thing, and I don't really talk to her anymore, but on occasion about, small shit. And it's just like all the pain of how I felt for her, and whenever she kept shooting me down for more dates, or for, this, that, or the other, it sucks. It just sucks, because there's no other real way to talk about it. And then the longest relationship I've ever had was with this girl. We dated 18 months, year and a half. And that was kind of she was my last I would consider girlfriend. And that relationship ended for a number of reasons that it had to. But I mean, basically it had to. Because she was not in a place in her life where she had control of her life. And I've talked about her before in the past. But she was not in a place where she had any control over her life. And she was very passive of her choices. And I really loved her. I honestly still to this day admit that I loved her. Part of me still does, I think. Even though as stupid as it sounds and as wrong for me as she is. And as unhappy as I'm sure we would be. Part of me still loves her. And there's nothing that's going to ever change that. And while it's painful to remember the happy times because they're not there anymore. And it's painful to remember the sad breakup times because that whole just kit and caboodle sucks ass. You can't help but feel that way. At least I can't. And I'm not one to dwell on my feelings and bad times, and I'm not one to make myself feel bad because of any reason. I just saw this movie and I was just constantly thinking about those two girls that I mentioned and a couple other women and girls that I've associated my life with, and just thought, fuck, that was really hard. And two, on some level, I've been in a long distance relationship. There was a whole ocean between us, and things just didn't really work out because I'm not in a place where I can accept, and I've never been this way. I've never been in a place where I can accept the status quo if you don't like it. I've been that way since I was, 19 or 20. It's been the last 5 or so years. And she was at the time living with her ex-boyfriend, who she said she still loved, which hurt me. And there was a significant 8-hour time difference, and I had just entered a point in my life where I had gotten a new job. This was, I was in college at the time. I'd just gotten a new job, and I couldn't really spend the time with her that she could spend with me. And so it kind of just dwindled away from being, we'd be on the phone all night. She'd listen to me sleep, and I'd listen to her sleep, and I'd be on the computer while she slept, and then she'd do whatever she did when I slept, and we would talk a few times a day, and we would talk throughout the day, and I really don't know how I feel about her. I think I loved her. We were talking for, several months. Never became official boyfriend and girlfriend. And that's my fault, I think. I think I just realized that I felt like I couldn't do it on my own, and I felt like I was trying really, really hard to make it work, and nothing I said or did was right in my mind, and I couldn't get it. I couldn't mold the relationship the way I wanted it to be. And like I said, that's mostly my fault. And it's just painful. It's just a lot of pain and sadness. And this is kind of one of the few movies where I've actually legitimately cried. Like there have been movies where I've shed tears, but this is the first movie since probably Forrest Gump, when I was, maybe 16 when I saw it after not seeing it for a while, where I legitimately cried more than a few tears, and there was general sadness for a few minutes. It's just, it's hard to explain because I know there's this hole in my life that I want to fill, but wanting to fill it and actually having the social capability and skills and whatever to fill it, that's what I got to say about that. So I guess hopefully I can have enough courage tomorrow to message this girl that I like and would like to hang out with, but I don't know. I just don't know. So, I think I'm going to just stop here because I'm kind of running out of things to say that I haven't already said, and I don't want to really repeat myself. But I guess at the end of the day, the movie was really good, and it really made me think and examine the relationships with women I've had in my life, and really examine how things have worked out. I guess one other thing I can think about is in your life, and what this movie is a good example of, is that you never start a relationship and end another. The relationships are constantly moving, evolving, and changing. And while you may be friends with this girl now, or you may be friends with this dude now, you know, you could be more than that in the future when wherever you are in your life changes, and maybe you guys have paths that line up. So I hope you guys took something away from this, and I hope this is something that you found useful. And to my future self, who I'm sure will come back to this at some point, this kind of sucks. Let's not do that anymore. Let's try to find a girl to love that'll love us back. So yeah, take care.